Hi guys, welcome to the Realm of Astrology. This is your weekly horoscope for April 26th to May 2nd, 2021. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button. Alright, so the first thing that I want to talk about happens on Monday itself. You guys can see it on the chart. 26th April, Monday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time is the full moon in Scorpio. Alright. Now, what is a full moon? Full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposition, as you can see on the chart. And this energy feels extremely intense. It's a significant point in the month and it happens once a month. All right, so what exactly is happening? All the changes that you made on 11th April, all the beginnings that you started on 11th April with the new moon start to become clearly visible, start to culminate on the full moon. The full moon is also a point of release. So whatever you need to let go of, you release on the full moon as well. And the energy can feel very intense because the sun and the moon are in opposition. The sun is your consciousness, it's your identity, and the moon is your emotional body. Okay, so this is what is happening. We are reaching a culmination point, a peak out point of the new moon that happened on 11th April, which was all about starting things, building a new life, creating a new identity. So by now, by 26th April, you should be seeing whatever you started back then more clearly. Because the full moon is the night where the light is brightest. Okay, it makes you see things clearly. So that's happening on Monday. And this full moon is quite significant. Why is it significant? Because the moon right here is opposing all this. You see, it's opposing it. It's opposing it. It's opposing the sun, of course. It's opposing Uranus. It's opposing Venus. It's opposing Mercury. And what does this all mean? Let's break it down one by one. Uranus usually brings about a sudden, unexpected change. So this full moon in Scorpio, which is all about transformation, going deep, ending old things, beginning new things, rebirth, catharsis, regeneration. It could mean that it's a sudden transformation that happens. It's a sudden transformation. All right. And since Venus is right next to it, most likely, I do believe that this transformation will be positive for us. And and this full moon is going to touch everything in our lives. Why is it going to touch everything in our lives? Because Venus is there and so is Mercury. Venus is our relationships, it's our business projects, it's our legal partnerships, it's finances, it's beauty, it's art. And Mercury is our mind, it's our communication, it's our perception, it's our health, it's our job, it's our routine. So practically everything will be impacted by this full moon in a positive way, in a sudden way, in an unexpected way. Okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about with this moon. And what else is this moon doing? The moon is also in a trine, 120-degree angle, which is positive to Mars. Basically, whatever transformation we go through, whatever we are ending, whatever we are beginning, Mars is helping us. Mars is helping us take action. Mars is helping us have courage. Okay, and trine is positive. It makes things easy. It facilitates things. So that's another positive aspect this moon is making. Okay. However, this moon is in a square. It's in a square to Saturn. Saturn's here. I've marked it on the chart. And all this energy is being squared by Saturn. Okay. What does this mean? The square is a 90-degree angle and it is challenging. It brings about change. It forces you to action. And Saturn is the most hard working planet, you can say. It demands hard work. It demands discipline. It demands decisions. So a square to Saturn will mean to transform. You will have to define things. You will have to take decisions. You will have to work hard. Although it is transformative. Although Mars is giving us the courage to make that transformation, at the end of the day, we will have to define things, take decisions, set things in stone, work hard, be disciplined. Okay, so it's not an easy energy. I believe it's a positive energy, but it's not an easy one. Okay. And this full moon is also culminating the new moon cycle that began for us in November of 2020, November 14th to be exact. Okay. And that new moon was a magical new beginning in a way, because I don't have the chart here, but all that energy in Capricorn, there was a lot of energy in Capricorn in November of 2020, was sextiling the new moon that happened here. It was making a 60-degree angle. It was a magical new beginning, and that started to bring about the new life that started for us in Jan of 2020 alive. It brought that alive. Why? Till October, till October of 2020, we were still carrying the past from 1982 to 1984 with us, because the new moon in Libra had not happened. And after October, we had let go of the energy of the past. So November was the first full moon where we were into the new without the old in a very powerful way. And this full moon on April 26th is culminating that cycle, closing that cycle, bringing it to fruition on April 26th, 2021. Okay, so it's a very powerful day, it's a very intense day, it's a day of great transformation and change. And I think for the whole week, this is going to be the most powerful thing that happens. Okay, but let's move on to the next day. Let's move on to April 27th, and something significant happens here as well. Now, what's happening? Pluto right here has gone retrograde. It's turned red. You guys can see it on the chart. It's turned red. Everyone else is in black, every other planet. What it means is Pluto has gone retrograde. Now, what is a retrograde? A retrograde is when, from the Earth's perspective, a planet appears to move backwards. It's not actually moving backwards, but it appears to. So now, from Earth's perspective, Pluto is appearing to move backwards. And why is this significant astrologically? When a planet goes retrograde, the active work that we put in to the areas that that planet defines in our lives, in this case Pluto, which is our psychology, which is our fears, which is our control issues, which is deep transformation, which is letting go of the old, creation of the new, all that, the pressure of that has eased off. So now we'll see a lighter energy in terms of our psychology, the inner work that we have to do to work on our fears, on our control issues, on our obsessive tendencies, on ending the old ways of being and creating new ways of thinking. All that will feel easier. However, retrogrades are periods of karma. Now, what does this mean? Whatever work you've put in since Pluto has been direct, I believe since October of 2020, will result in karmic payback, you can say. If you've put in the work, you'll start to receive rewards. If you haven't, you may have to do some more work, put in some extra effort. All right. So Pluto goes retrograde on Tuesday, and with this, one of the major outer planets has gone retrograde. The forward movement that we've been in since January will start to feel a little slow. Okay, it'll start to feel a little slow, and things have already slowed down. They slowed down last Monday when all the planets moved into the sign of Taurus from Aries, when on Friday Mars moved into Cancer and really slowed things down, stopped that overwhelming, stimulating energy, and we had a chance to go within, take action from a place of comfort. Okay, and now as Pluto goes retrograde on Tuesday, another layer of pressure eases off. Okay, so that happens on Tuesday. Okay, now let's take a look on Wednesday's chart. What's happening on Wednesday? Okay, let me pull up the chart for you guys. Give me a moment. Sorry. I'm just trying to get the moon to 0 degrees. There, it's at 0 degrees. So what's happening on Wednesday? The moon changes signs, okay? It's in Sagittarius now. The moon was in Scorpio because the full moon was in Scorpio for the past 2.5 days. So Monday and Tuesday, the moon was in Scorpio. Now Wednesday at about 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is the 28th of April, it comes into Sagittarius. What does this mean? It means a change in our energy. In Scorpio, we like to go deep. We like to seek the truth. We like to transform. We like to regenerate. It's a very intense sign. It's a very intense energy. And the moon really honestly does not really like to be there. Okay, moon is a different energy in Scorpios, very intense. So for the past 2 days, especially with the full moon in Scorpio, although positive, not easy but positive, would have felt extremely intense, and Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, going retrograde would have intensified the whole situation. Now, as the moon changes signs on Wednesday morning into Sagittarius, we feel uplifted. We feel optimistic, we feel hopeful, we feel joyous. We are ready to take on an adventure, we are ready to learn, we are ready to have fun, we're ready to explore, because Sagittarius is the most optimistic sign, it's the most hopeful sign, it's the sign that will always look at the glass half full and not empty. I'm a Sag, by the way. So, anyway, now what's happening next? Soon after this, the moon will hit the nodes, okay? So let's see that happen on the chart. There, at about 2 a.m., which is 29th April, technically. Yeah. So let's backtrack a little bit. Before this, what happens is that the nodes hit 11 degrees. The nodes are here. The north node is in Gemini and the south node is in Sagittarius. They've hit 11 degrees, okay, exact. And this is significant because the nodes have a 1.5 year cycle, so any movement of a degree means a step forward. Okay, so that's happening on April 28th. And another thing that happens on April 28th is that Saturn, it moves up a degree. It was at 12 degrees, and now it's at 13 degrees. Now this is also forward movement. It was at 12, it's at 13, it's forward movement. So we've seen something, we've taken decisions, we've moved a step ahead in our lives. The nodes have moved ahead. So we've moved a step ahead today. Okay? And Jupiter has also hit 28 degrees now. It was at 27 degrees, it's hit 28 degrees. That's another step. So today is a day where we see more of what the universe has in store for us, where we take one more step forward, where we take one more decision, where we see another glimpse of the life that started for us in December of 2020. So that happens on Wednesday. I know the chart is pulled up to Thursday, but it's at 2 a.m. So consider this Wednesday's chart. And now let's move on to Thursday, okay? Thursday's horoscope. So the chart is pulled up to the first thing that I want to talk about, which is the Moon South Node conjunction in Sagittarius. The South Node is not really a planet, but when it meets a planet, in this case the Moon, it will drain the energy of that planet. The South Node is something that drains the energy. In this case, we may feel emotionally drained because the Moon is our emotions. And that happens at 2 a.m. So you may feel tired, you may feel a lack of hope because Sagittarius is all about hope, but you may feel the lack of it because the Moon is with the South Node at 2 a.m. But this is temporary and this energy will pass because soon after this, the Moon will sextile Saturn. So let's see that. Moon's at 13 degrees and it is sextiling Saturn. It's a positive thing. The hard work we've put in, the decisions where we've taken, the discipline that we have, we're feeling very optimistic about those things. We're feeling very positive. We're feeling like, yeah, if I put in the hard work, if I put in the discipline, positive things will happen. Okay, and Saturn is also helping us define our emotions, because sometimes we don't really know what we feel. But in this case, Saturn is helping us define that, and it's positive because it's a sextile, a 60-degree angle, which is positive. All right, what else is happening today? So the sun is right here, okay? It is getting ready to meet up Uranus. This does not happen today, but it's getting ready to meet up Uranus. Now today is therefore a day of build up. And what are we building into? We're building into a sudden change Uranus to our identity, to our consciousness. And this is connected to our skills, our values, our self-worth, how we make money. These are the 4 things it's going to bring about a change in. And the sun conjuncts Uranus once a year. So it's a big day. It only happens once a year that something in your consciousness changes so unexpectedly, unconventionally, suddenly, out of the blue. So that happens tomorrow, but we are in the build-up energy for that. So I thought I'd mention it. And the next thing that's happening today happens a little later in the day. So let me move the chart ahead for you guys. But we are still building into that energy all day. Is the Mercury and Neptune sextile 60-degree angle. What is Mercury? Mercury is our mind, it's our health, it's our routine, it's logical thinking, it's perception, it's communication. And what is Neptune? Neptune is the other realm. It's the higher realm. It's spirituality, it's magic. It's also depression, it's delusion, it's psychic awareness. So you can see that Mercury and Neptune are 2 very different energies. Mercury is all about the logical mind, and Neptune is anything but. It's all about the spiritual realm. And when these 2 sextile make a positive angle, it feels like the logical mind and the spiritual realm are in sync. And that is a rare thing. That's a rare thing because it's either or usually. So that happens at about 3 p.m. And when I give you the time, it doesn't mean exactly at that time you'll feel this for a minute and then the energy will go off. There's a build up. You could start feeling this 2-3 hours before, even 4-5 hours before. And after it happens at about 3:30, the energy will start to ease off. Okay? So that's happening. And a little after this, let's see that, the moon will square Neptune. Okay? The moon will square Neptune. Moon is here and Neptune is here. Now this happens right after Mercury is still at 22 degrees, but this happens right after Mercury and Neptune have sextiled. And now the moon and Neptune are squaring, and this is also making an aspect, okay? What does this all mean? Anything that it comes in contact with Neptune, especially in hard aspects, so to speak, a square, can feel overly sensitive. We can feel overly sensitive about our emotions. Things that wouldn't bother us usually may bother us. So be mindful of not overreacting because this is an oversensitive energy. But I think it's got more to do with be a positive thing rather than a negative thing, simply because Mercury is in a sextile to Neptune. Although it's in a square to the moon, it's still in a sextile to Mercury. So emotionally, we may feel like we need to change something. It could be that mentally we realize something. We realize something connected to our communication, our immediate environment, our health, our routine, our diet, and change that to match our emotions. So this energy is going to happen at about starting at 3 p.m. and then ending at about 8:39 p.m. And it's all about changing something. It's all about feeling good, feeling in sync mentally and spiritually. However, that will require some emotional change. Yes. That's what it is. Okay? And yeah. And the sun's hit 10 degrees. It's going to come into an exact conjunction tomorrow. So I'm going to pull up tomorrow's chart now and we'll take a look at that. But before that, this whole energy is in a semi-sextile to Chiron and in a semi-sextile to the nodes. So there's a lot of energy at 10 degrees right now, 10, 11 degrees. I just thought I'd mention it. But let's move on to tomorrow and see the chart. Okay, there. So by now, by 8 p.m., Friday, April 30th, the Sun-Uranus conjunction has happened. And as I mentioned for yesterday's horoscope, overview rather, the Sun and Uranus meet once a year. And this is a sudden, unexpected change to our consciousness connected to our self-worth, our skills, our values, how we make money. All right? And this is in a semi-sextile to Chiron, which means it's got a healing aspect to it, whatever this unexpected change is. And it's in a semi-sextile to the North Node, which means it'll bring us closer to our goals. Whatever this change is. Could be anything. Yeah, and North Node and Chiron are sextiling. This is not today, this is going to be the energy for some time now, but I'll mention it right now because as we move towards our goal, as we have this sudden change in our consciousness with Uranus Sun conjunction, we will feel healed, our identity will feel healed. And it may feel a little bittersweet because with Chiron, the healing feels bittersweet. But it's there. It's there. It could be that you're working so hard towards your goals and you're not getting results immediately. So, although there is healing in the effort that you're putting in, there is a bitterness to the fact that you may not be getting the rewards immediately. But give it time. Okay, so that happens on Friday, and I'm going to pull up the chart a little behind so that I can show you what I wanted to talk about. There. The moon at 28 degrees is sextiling Jupiter. Okay. 7 a.m. Pacific time. So on Friday, you wake up with a lot of positivity, a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, because Jupiter is the most benefic. It's the ruler of Sagittarius, and the moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, and they're in a sextile, a positive angle. So this is a lot of positive energy, a lot of hopeful energy, a lot of desire to explore and go on adventures. So that's how the day begins, and it'll end with the Sun-Uranus conjunction, which will change something in your consciousness. Okay? And soon after that, let's see it happen. The moon will enter Capricorn. Okay? There, it's entered Capricorn at about 10 a.m. So moon has changed signs on Friday. Now the moon changes signs every 2.5 days, and now the focus has shifted from a very optimistic, hopeful, I want to have fun, I want to explore, I want to go on an adventure sort of attitude to let's build for the long term. Let's plan, let's take action, planned action for the long term. So now it's all about work. It's all about putting in the hard work, being disciplined, because Capricorn is the sign ruled by Saturn. So you can understand the energy. Discipline, hard work, decisions. Okay? However, although it may sound like 2 days of just work and no fun, let me tell you, the energy is much lighter than it has been when the moon has been in Capricorn since 2017. Because from 2017 December to 2020 December, Saturn was in the sign of Capricorn, which meant that every month the moon entered Capricorn, Saturn was there, making things extremely difficult, making us work harder than normal, making us be more disciplined than required, making us take decisions that we didn't want to take. But now Saturn's moved into Aquarius. Saturn's in Aquarius now. So we don't have that Saturn energy sitting in the sign of Capricorn, amplifying the energy of Capricorn, which is all about achievement, work, discipline, dedication, hard work. So although we will be doing this, we'll be doing it with an ease. We have been at ease since December of 2020, Jan, Feb, March, April. This is the fourth month where the energy of work has felt a little easier. Okay. Okay. And the next thing happens at 4 p.m. today. So I'm going to pull up the chart for that. And what's happening? Mars at 4 degrees is opposing the moon. They're making a 180-degree angle. And Mars is action. It's our drive, it's our courage, it's our willpower. And the moon is our emotional body. It could be that as we come into the energy of working, of being disciplined, of achievement, Mars in Cancer, because Mars does not like to be in Cancer, it works a little slowly in Cancer, that the way in which we might want to take action may not be compatible with how we think we should take action. So we may feel like I should do this, I should do this, I should do this, but Mars is saying, hang on, I'm not comfortable. I want to slow down. So emotionally, you may want to take a lot of things, get a lot of things done, achieve a lot, but your will, your drive, the energy, the Martian energy is saying, slow down. Not so fast. It's going to take more effort. You can't just go in and do it right now. No. So that's the energy at about 4 p.m. So it can feel frustrating. It can feel like it can make you angry also. So let this energy pass, because the moon moves really fast. In a few hours, couple of hours, it'll move and the energy will be over. Okay, so at about 4 p.m. Pacific time, maybe start from 2 p.m. Pacific time. Don't get angry, don't get frustrated. Don't think like, yeah, I want to do so many things, I want to achieve, I want to build, but I'm not able to. Why am I not able to? Don't feel like that, although you might feel like that. Okay? All right. So that's all for Friday, guys. And then let's move on to Saturday, which is May. We're in May now. The year has gone by super fast. And what's happening on May 1st, 2021? Okay. May 1st, 2021. I'm going to pull back the chart a little bit to show you guys what I want to talk about. So the moon is still in Capricorn, and around 3 a.m., let me clean the chart. Around 3 a.m., the moon, right here at 10 degrees of Capricorn, will start to trine all this Taurus energy. It'll start to trine it. Trine is a 120-degree angle. It's positive, it facilitates things, it makes things easy. And in this case, what is it facilitating? Emotionally, we are feeling very, very good about the life that we are building or built. Now we've built it. Building it, but we've started to build it. We built the foundation of it. We've started that action. So now we're in the phase where we're stabilizing what we started. We're stabilizing it, and we're feeling very good with how the progress is happening. And with a trine to Uranus, which happens at about 3 a.m., this is a sudden change, a sudden positive change to our emotions connected to our reality. Capricorn is our material reality. Taurus is all about finances, manifestation of that reality. And we are feeling very good about how our life is coming about in terms of our skills, our self-worth, our values, and how we make money. We're feeling good about it. And slowly, slowly, as the moon moves ahead, okay, within the span of a few hours, it's going to trine all this. It's going to trine the sun, it's going to trine Venus, it's going to trine Mercury, and this is all positive, and it's encompassing almost every aspect of our life. It's encompassing our consciousness, our identity, our relationships, our finances, our business partnerships, our mind, our communication, our health, our diet, our routine, pretty much anything and everything that you can think of in our material reality, barring our drive and how we take action, it is making a positive aspect to it, which means emotionally we are feeling very good about these things. Okay? So that happens on Saturday. And another thing that I want to touch upon that's happening not today, but it's building up today, is the Venus Neptune sextile. As I told you, Neptune is the most magical planet. It's the other realm, and Venus is our relationships, it's our projects, it's our finances, it's our business partnerships, it's our self-worth, it's our values, it's how we make money. It's all these things, and a sextile is a positive angle. So the build-up, we'll talk about it, but while the build-up is going on, while emotionally with the moon trining all this energy, we are feeling something magical. We're feeling something magical regarding our relationships and our projects and how we make money. There's something out of the world going on in these areas of your life. So that's Saturday. However, a little bit into the day, let me pull up the chart for that. Give me a moment. Yeah. At about 4 p.m., Mercury will square Mercury will trine Pluto. Okay, Mercury will trine Pluto. And this is a positive transformation to our mind, to our diet, to our health, to our routine. And it makes sense because we've gone through feeling very positive about the life that we're building, all this. We're feeling very magical about our relationships and our finances with the Mercury, Venus. And now with a trine to Pluto, we have to transform our way of thinking a little bit. And it'll come naturally, it'll come easily because it's a trine. It's a trine. Okay? So if I said this was a square, it was not. That was my mistake. It's a trine and it's very positive and it makes things very, very easy. Okay? So let's move on to Sunday now. And let me clean up the chart first. Okay. Sunday, 2nd May 2021. Now what's happening on Sunday? The first thing that you will see is something that I spoke about. The build up to the Venus and Neptune semi-sextile. This is a magical feeling about our projects, about our finances, relationships, self-worth, values, how we make money, skills, anything Venus related. We are feeling very magical. We're thinking, oh, this is great. Okay. So that happens at about 4:20 p.m. And you'll feel the energy much before because the build-up is everything. Okay. And let's backtrack a little bit. But I wanted to show you the highlight of the day first. But there are a couple other things happening today that I want to talk about before I wrap up for the week. So what's happening here? The moon has conjuncted Pluto. This happens at 6 a.m. And this is a emotional transformation that you will have to do. With Pluto, there are no options. It could be catharsis. One often fears Pluto, but I don't think it's always something to fear because it is also the planet that rules catharsis and regeneration and renewal and rebirth. So every month when the moon will meet up Pluto, it meets Pluto every month, we will face a sort of renewal, a catharsis, a regeneration. And on 2nd May, 6 a.m., we are facing exactly the same thing. So it's not negative. I don't think it's negative, and especially not because, again, it's in a trine to all this Taurus energy. It's positive. Trine to Mercury, our mind. It's a positive transformation. Trine to Venus. Venus is the second most benefic planet after Jupiter. It's a positive transformation to your inner body, to your heart and soul, to your emotions. And that happens at 6 a.m. Okay? And The next thing that happens is that the moon changes signs. Okay, there. At about 1 p.m. Pacific time, the moon has entered Aquarius. Now, what is Aquarius? Aquarius is all about you. It's all about your individuality. It's about who you are on the inside. It's your authentic self. Okay? So, when the moon comes into Aquarius, it all becomes about finding your authentic self, your hopes and dreams and goals, the future, and yes, your social circle, but that's a small part of it. It's the other things that matter more. All right? And the moon does feel stressed when it's in Aquarius. It will feel stressed every month when it's in Aquarius. It has been the case since December of 2020. Why? Why has it been the case? Because Saturn is there. Okay? Saturn likes to restrict. It demands hard work, it demands discipline, it demands you to pull up your socks, so to speak. Okay? And the moon is our emotional body. It's, you can say, in many ways the opposite of Saturn, right? The emotions like to flow loose. There's no discipline when it comes to emotions. There's no hard work. There's no uh, tradition when it comes to emotions. Emotions just run free. So when the moon approaches Saturn as it is right now, it feels stressed. It feels stressed. It feels I need to do some work. I need to be disciplined. I will have to take a decision. I don't want to. I just want to go with the flow. Why is, why do I have to meet Saturn? Okay, so that's the feeling with the moon. And it is also stressful simply because, as I mentioned, in Aquarius, we are focused on the future, on our goals, on our hopes, on our dreams, all fun things, all things that require optimism, Jupiter, not Saturn. Yes, Saturn too for the hard work and discipline, but Saturn by itself can feel like all work and no fun. So, as we build our new life, as we build towards our goals, because Aquarius has played a major role in the astrology since December, as you guys know, Saturn and Jupiter met up at 0 degrees of Aquarius in December of 2020 and started a 20-year cycle. We're going to take 2 years to build that cycle. So when the moon comes into the sign of Aquarius, we focus more on building that life, and it does not feel fun because it's all about hard work. You're working with restrictions. Saturn is restrictions. It's all about discipline. And it's a planet that does not show rewards until much later. So you are not seeing the effects or the rewards of the work that you're putting in. And that does not feel easy. So for the next 2.5 days, Sunday, beginning Sunday afternoon into say Tuesday, this will be the energy, okay? All right. Yeah. And tomorrow on Monday, it will conjunct Saturn, but that's next week's horoscope, so I'll talk about it on next week's horoscope. And that's all I have to say for this week. I will give you a brief background on what's happening in the astrology so that you can put this day into context and also understand the energies that are constant playing in the background. Because what we spoke about is a day-to-day change, but there is a constant energy in the background. Okay, so let me talk about that first. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the Chiron Uranus semi-sextile. This is going to be with us all year, and this is about healing in unexpected ways through unexpected skills, unexpected values, unconventional means of making money. All right. And the next thing that I want to talk about is the Uranus and the North Node. They are also in a semi-sextile 30-degree angle. And what does this mean? This means that as we move towards our goals, it means that our goals are unconventional. Whatever goals we have, they're unconventional. They're not the norm. They're not the traditional things you might do. Because Uranus is there. Uranus is unconventional, and it's making a semi-sextile to the North Node, our goals, where we are headed, and that's unconventional. And the next thing is that the North Node is sextiling Chiron now. As we move towards our goals, which are unconventional Uranus, we will heal our identity, Chiron in Aries. Okay? So that is happening. And this Chiron is in a trine. It's in a trine to the South Node. As we move towards our goals, which are unconventional, it's getting easier and easier to let go of the past and heal our identity through it. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is what I call the theme of the year. Saturn and Uranus are squaring. Okay, they're making a 90-degree angle, and this is going to be with us all year. And this energy is about coming into your authentic self, getting rid of old ways of being, old ways of thinking, old ideas of who you think you should be, and embracing who you actually are. And who you actually are will be tangible by the end of the year. Okay, and let me tell you, this square with Saturn and Uranus happens once in many, 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 many years. So this is a rare event that's happening this year. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Saturn Chiron sextile. Okay, around Feb beginning to be exact, we started to take a decision and we started to build something that would heal our identity. And by the end of the year, that something will be tangible. Okay, and before I move ahead to the next thing that's happening in the background, let's just focus on the chart for a moment. North Node is at 11 degrees. Uranus Sun 10 degrees, 12 degrees. Chiron 10 degrees. Saturn has moved on, but it's in a close enough orb to be aspecting the 10-degree point. South Node 10 degrees. So much of sextile, so much of semi-sextile, so much of trining. The only stressful event, so to speak, is the square to Saturn and Uranus. It's all about healing. It's all about coming into your authentic self. And with so much energy in Aquarius, Saturn and Jupiter, the two biggest energies in Aquarius, it is all about finding your authentic self and finding your humanity, because Aquarius is humanity as well. And yes, the next thing that's happening in the background that I want to talk about is the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. They met up at 0 degrees of Aquarius, right here where the moon is. And they met up in December of 2020. They meet up once in 20 years. So in December of 2020, they ended a cycle that began in the year 2000. And since then, we've seen most of what the cycle will entail for us. Not all of it, most of it. And in the next 2 years, we will lay the foundation of the cycle that will stay with us till 2040. The second last thing that I want to touch upon is the Saturn Pluto conjunction that happened around here at 22 degrees of Capricorn. This happened in Jan of 2020, and this changed our material reality completely. It also ended a cycle that started in between 1982 and 1984. All right. And the change in Jan of 2020 happened quite immediately. However, we still haven't activated that cycle fully. Okay? It will be activated this year fully. I'll talk about it when it happens. But just know, Jan of 2020, our material reality shifted completely, and it's a change that's going to stay with us for a long, long time, till 2053 to be exact. Okay? So things are not going back to pre-2020 Jan. They're just not going back to that. And the last thing that I want to talk about are the nodes. The nodes, the North Node is in Gemini and the South Node is in Sag. They've been here since 2020 May. All right. And they were in the same placement between 2001 and 2003. So whatever themes, events, people, situation that came into your life between 2001 and 2003, you will be resolving, building on, dealing with, revisiting those same themes, people, events, situations. And you'll continue to do so till the nodes are in the sign of Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay? Overall, I'll sum up the week for you guys. Monday is a day of deep transformation with the full moon. Tuesday is Pluto retrograde. A bit of the pressure eases off. We get ready for karmic payback, good or bad. That is a personal thing, I would say. Wednesday, the moon comes into Sagittarius, lifting the energy, giving us hope, giving us optimism, helping us have fun. All right. And Thursday is about building, changing, and feeling good. Friday, there's a sudden change to our consciousness that happens only once a year to our with Uranus Sun conjunction, and the moon also changes into Capricorn, which is all about work, building, achievement. And we may feel a little frustrated with the opposition to Mars. We may feel angry at about 4 p.m. on Friday. And Saturday is a feel good day. We're feeling very magical about our relationships, projects, finances, skills, self worth. There's a magical element to the whole thing. And Sunday is a mixed day. It's a mixed day because the moon will conjunct Pluto. There will be a transformation. Transformation, even if it's positive, it feels a little difficult. That's why I said it's a mixed day, but overall it's positive. All right. The only mixed feeling is when the moon changes signs at about 1 p.m. in the afternoon to Aquarius, and that's when it'll start feeling stressed out because Saturn's there, and we'll have to. And on Monday, the moon will meet up with Saturn. Okay, so that was your weekly horoscope for um, April 26th, which is a Monday, to May 2nd, which is a Sunday, 2021. Please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.